When Cody Brown compared himself to one of his ancestors who was viewed as a womanizer in a recent Sister Wives episode, it's possible that his ego was on display. Cody was previously married to 4 different women: Robyn Brown, Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Meri Brown. Cody and his wives, who had 18 children between them, lived as a single contented family while embracing plural marriage. But after a difficult couple of years, Christine decided to leave Cody in 2021. Meri and Janelle soon followed Robyn, and Cody are still married in a monogamous relationship. The son of Cody and Janelle, Garrison Brown, tragically committed suicide in 2024. In a recent episode of Sister Wives Season 19, Robyn, Cody, and their kids head to Cody, Wyoming, where Cody grew up to attend Garrison's funeral. The family is still struggling to deal with the loss. Cody used the occasion to show his family his former hunts. When it was brought up that Cody was named after Cody, he gave an explanation of how it came to be, while also giving himself a pat on the back. Cody denies being a ladies' man. Cody mentioned the reputation of his ancestor. While at Cody for Garrison's service, Cody and Robyn took their children, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella Brown, to show them where Cody was raised. Cody took the children on a tour of Cody, a little town approximately an hour distant from his birthplace. Cody, a hamlet of roughly 10,000 people, is where Cody recalled running around chasing girls when he was younger. Wyoming is where Cody's roots are. It's where Garrison's are. The family, when they first got started, a lot of their time was there. It's a place of homesteaded Robyn. Cody told his children stories about his days as a sign salesman, while he proudly showed them Cody was named after Buffalo Bill, whose real name was William Frederick. Robyn explains to the children, the town of Cody was named after Buffalo Bill, and Cody's dad named him Cody, but wanted to be unusual, so he spelled Cody with AK. Cody shares Buffalo Bill's legend with his children, claiming that he met Sitting Bull and that the two of them toured the Wild West together. Cody described Buffalo Bill as basically he was a showman. He was an entertainer, which led Robyn to inquire as to if Cody also thought of himself in that light. Robyn's question caused Cody at first object, but he later acknowledged that there were some parallels. I think I'm sort of entertaining. I try to entertain you, Robyn, and their older kids laughed when Cody commented that Buffalo Bill was likely very charming, very entertaining, very friendly, and maybe a bit of a ladies' man. I'm assuming. Cody also stated that he doesn't think of himself as a ladies' man. Given that Cody had 4 wives, it's impossible to argue that he isn't a ladies' man, which makes Robyn and the children laugh even harder. I never considered myself to be a ladies' man. I was a polygamist because of religion. Okay, I was never a ladies' man. Cody clarified that the family's religious beliefs, not his desire for more women, were the reason they had 4 wives. Robyn thought the term might apply to him, so he rolled his eyes at this. It was clear that Cody could relate to his well-known ancestor in some ways, and he appeared eager to compare himself to him. Cody frequently exaggerates about relationships and life. Cody's perspective on life is poetic. Cody is the kind of guy who finds meaning in the ordinary and waxes poetic about life. Whether it's his family history, his polygamous status, his fatherhood, or even his previous job as a sign salesman, he has a tendency to romanticize everything. Cody has a naive demeanor and condenses his life into little lessons, which may indicate that his ego is a little inflated. At one point, Cody offered bracelets he had made especially for each of his wives. His justifications for each reflected his feelings. The Latin term meaning loyalty was engraved on Meri's necklace, which was fashioned like a scroll. Robyn's was a phoenix inspired by a song she and Cody enjoyed. Christine's was a pixie queen, and Janelle's was made with earthy aspects in mind. Cody wanted his wives to understand the symbolic meaning behind the designs he chose for each of their necklaces. Is Cody ever going to change? Cody has advanced a little. Cody's world was upended by his several divorces. Many seasons of Sister Wives focused on the aftermath of the divorces, particularly Cody's mental health as his entire world fell apart. Cody experienced all phases of grieving, including denial and rage. However, Cody has shown us a new side lately. He can now sympathize with his ex-wives and has come to terms with what transpired. Cody made the proper decision by giving Meri and Janelle a fair portion of the proceeds from the sale of Coyote Pass, the 18 acres of land the family had acquired in 2018. Naturally, both Janelle and Meri threatened to file a lawsuit, but Cody did follow through on the land transaction. He also sees the problems in his marriages with greater maturity. In a recent episode, Cody apologized for the way things turned out and said that his statement that he never loved Christine, Janelle, or Meri was made out of rage rather than sincerity. Sometimes Cody acts like a child. Even though he is an 18-year-old parent, he occasionally acts like a child, especially when he is happy or excited. At least he has a whimsical side despite his tendency for drama and excess. Cody looks for life's beauty and the lessons that can be learned from it. Cody has a poetic perspective on grief. Even when discussing his sentiments following Garrison's passing, he says that one must accept it or it will consume them. Cody likely uses it as a coping strategy to present things his way and to infuse the mundane facts with a little magic. It is likely best for Cody to do whatever it takes to accept Garrison's passing and move on, especially in this circumstance. Sowing seeds, Sister Wives audiences applaud. Christine Brown's startling disclosure regarding Robyn in 1990. Cody Brown legally married his first wife, Meri Brown, through spiritual unions. The two of them added 2 more sister wives, Christine Brown and Janelle Brown, over the years, but the dynamics of the Brown family started to change when Robyn Brown entered the picture in 2009. Cody was so taken by her beauty that he divorced Meri and legally married Robyn, adopting her 3 children from a previous relationship. Christine Brown has received a lot of praise from Sister Wives fans for expressing her opinion that Robyn Brown may have strategically placed herself within the family for her own gain. Cody and Meri have stated that they decided to get a divorce so he could marry Robyn. However, Christine has not agreed with this story. Christine reaffirmed her conviction that Robyn arranged Cody and Meri's divorce in order to become his legal wife during the recent Sister Wives season. 19 tell-all filming with the Brown family. Many fans praised Christine for confirming their suspicions, even if Robyn claimed she didn't remember discussing divorce. One Redditor at Cold D. Hart wrote, "Meri didn't suggest the legal marriage." The OP said, "I think Christine is honest." Another Redditor at Roz1123885 added, "Christine is honest. Robyn and Cody have been sowing seeds. I believe Meri is still sorting everything out." The significance of Christine's disclosure regarding Robyn. Christine wishes to express her opinions honestly. Christine no longer supports Robyn's version of events, but Robyn's appearance throughout Sister Wives Season 19 suggested that she had a victim mentality, enjoying being Cody's favorite wife and frequently blaming the other Sister Wives for not developing a strong relationship with him. Like she had, Robyn also seemed content with the idea of a monogamous relationship with Cody, avoiding acknowledging her own role in family conflicts and frequently positioning herself as the peacemaker. While she still considers Janelle to be her sister wife, she is no longer a part of Cody's polygamous lifestyle, so she feels compelled to be open about her feelings for her former sister wife, Robyn. Since Robyn is no longer a member of her family, Christine isn't interested in sugarcoating her words. Instead, it appears that she is more focused on being truthful and confirming fans' long-held suspicions. Christine ended her relationship with Cody in November 2021 and married David Woolley in October 2023. She is thrilled with her new marriage and feels loved and supported. Our analysis of Robyn's response when she was alerted about divorce seeds: Robyn may be deliberately evading responsibility. Although Robyn claimed she couldn't recall suggesting divorce, her evasive memory may come across as a strategic deflection, raising suspicions among viewers. Robyn is frequently viewed as the villain on Sister Wives, accused of causing the family to fall apart and causing a rift between Cody and his adult children. Robyn's persistent refusal to provide definitive answers to accusations against her only serves to further solidify the perception that she is the villain. The majority of Sister Wives fans believe Robyn is avoiding accountability, a behavior that has become a hallmark of her, the main character in the most recent chapter of a very complicated family story. A man who was once known for accepting a plural union with multiple spouses finds himself facing not only the consequences of those decisions, but also a more personal examination of his own identity and past. This man, who was once married to 4 women and had a large family, has experienced significant changes in his personal life that have significantly changed the structure of his home and his own sense of self. The couple had welcomed many children, creating a lively, bustling home filled with the noise and chaos of family life multiplied. And this family had once flourished in the uncommon and frequently scrutinized lifestyle of plural marriage, living under one roof with love, devotion, and a shared commitment to their unconventional arrangement. However, time, as it often does, brought about challenges and transformations that no one could have predicted. After years of conflict and personal discontent, one husband decided to leave the marriage and two more soon followed, leaving the patriarch of the family in a monogamous relationship with the last surviving wife. The once closed plural family was disintegrating, exposing the complex layers of regret, emotion, and fortitude that lay beneath the surface. The loss of a young son, the child of the patriarch and one of his former wives who committed suicide, was the most devastating way that tragedy struck, as the family was still processing these changes. It sent shockwaves through the family, forcing them to deal with grief on a scale that few can fully understand. Amidst the quiet streets and well-known sights, the remaining family members gathered to say their final goodbyes in a recent episode of the family's ongoing story. For the father, the trip was more than just a way to bury his son. It was a chance to reestablish a connection between his children and their heritage. The remaining family members traveled to a small, unassuming town in the western United States, one steeped in history and rugged landscapes where the patriarch himself had grown up. Despite its small size, the town is rich in cultural lore and has a special place in the family's collecting memory. As he walked its streets, the patriarch narrated stories about his childhood, recalling days spent exploring the neighborhood, pursuing youthful interests, and dreaming of the future. His narration created a picture of a simpler time when ambition and innocence coexisted. One family storytelling moment during the visit was when the father described the origin of his own name, a story connected to the legacy of a legendary figure from the American frontier. A historical figure known for his showmanship, charm, and spirit of adventure, all of which the patriarch implied he possessed. Although he was first reluctant to make direct comparisons, he eventually accepted the comparison, characterizing himself as someone who tries to entertain and connect with those around him. With a mixture of humor and defensiveness, he denied being a ladies' man, claiming that his marital status was determined by religious conviction rather than personal desire. His wife and children laughed at this self-ascription, particularly when he Riley acknowledged his ancestor's reputation as a charismatic figure who probably enjoyed the company of many women, a comparison that raised eyebrows given his own past relationships. The contradictions that have long characterized this man's character were brought to light by the family's amused disbelief in response to this claim. Although he attempted to present himself as a devout husband, led by faith, the truth of his several marriages and the complications that followed painted a more complex picture. Beyond the family dynamics, the patriarch is known for his tendency to view life through a poetic lens. He frequently imbues ordinary moments with symbolism and meaning, weaving elaborate metaphors about love, family, and destiny. This romanticized worldview is evident in the thoughtful gifts he once crafted for each of his spouses, custom-designed necklaces, each imbued with personal significance and emblematic of the qualities he cherished in them. Beneath this grandeur, however, is a man struggling with his own shortcomings and the fallout from his decisions. The dissolution of his multiple families left him negotiating a complex range of emotions, including regret, denial, grief, and finally a slow acceptance. Gradually, he has started to exhibit signs of emotional development, indicating a readiness to own up to his mistakes and feel sympathy for the people he once shared his life with. His decision to sell the land and divide the proceeds equally among the spouses was a step toward justice and responsibility. And even though legal battles loomed, his actions demonstrated an attempt to make amends and bring some measure of closure. His handling of a controversial piece of family property that had been a source of tension and conflict is one noteworthy example of this maturity. His poetic reflections on sorrow and healing serve as a coping mechanism, allowing him to process pain while keeping a hopeful outlook. This man continues to find comfort in his unique approach to grief, which frames it as a necessary companion to life, rather than an enemy to be defeated even in the face of profound loss, the death of his son. This family story, which revolves around a man whose life has been influenced by faith, ambition, love, and loss, is yet a potent illustration of the intricacy of interpersonal relationships and the never-ending pursuit of understanding and redemption. In the complex story of the plural family on the popular reality show, a recent confession by one of the women who used to live together has sparked a lot of discussion among loyal viewers. The woman who had previously lived with the complications of the multiple wife arrangement came forward with an honest observation about one of the remaining wives' motivations, and many fans of the show have praised her for revealing family dynamics that had been discussed but never fully acknowledged on camera. In order to set the scene, the patriarch of the family first married a woman who would be considered the original partner. They then embraced spiritual unions with two more women, growing the family and cohabitating under the terms of their plural relationship. However, the late 2000s saw the arrival of a new woman who, enthralled by her presence and charm, made the difficult decision to legally dissolve his marriage with the first partner and marry the newest member, who also brought 3 children from a previous relationship into the family. The original couple publicly presented this significant legal and emotional shift as a mutually agreeable decision to dissolve their marriage in order for the patriarch to formally wed the newest wife. But this portrayal has not been without criticism, as the recently outspoken former sister wife disputes the amicable story and maintains that the reality was more planned and calculated than previously acknowledged. While filming a recent special episode that recaps the events of the current season, this ex-wife reiterated her belief that the new wife intentionally manipulated the family dynamics to her benefit, implying that she influenced the dissolution of the first marriage in a way that suited her, basically manipulating the situation to ensure her status as the legal spouse. Fans quickly sided with the former wife's assessment, even though the new wife publicly denied ever pushing for a divorce. Online forums and social media platforms were ablaze with comments that bolstered the idea that the patriarch and the most recent wife have been carefully preparing for this transition long before it became public knowledge. One anonymous commentator on a well-known discussion site reflected, "It's clear that the legal marriage wasn't the first wife's idea. The new wife and the husband had been quietly plotting this for some time." Another fan praised the former wife's candor, stating that she had finally spoken what many viewers suspected for years. Knowing how deep the former sister wife's disclosure was, throughout the most recent season, the new wife frequently portrayed herself as the favored spouse and possibly even a victim in the larger family context, seemingly content with her role as the only wife, suggesting that her close relationship with the patriarch justified certain tensions and distances from the other women. This candid admission from the ex-partner highlights the changing emotional landscape of the family, and it often came across as her avoiding responsibility for ongoing conflicts by blaming the other wives for not fostering the same level of closeness. The woman who used to live with her in the plural lifestyle, however, disagrees with this victimization and peacemaking narrative. Now that she is no longer a part of the family's plural arrangement, she questions the notion that the new wife was only a passive character in the family drama, arguing that her actions were motivated by self-interest and that she actively contributed to the family's disintegration. This ex-wife, who ended her relationship with the patriarch in late 2021, married someone else in late 2023, expressing great joy and a sense of being genuinely loved in this new marriage. Although she still views one of her former sister wives as a sister in spirit and a close family member, she no longer identifies as a part of the plural relationship she was once so closely involved with. This change in her personal life appears to have allowed her to talk more freely about her observations and experiences without the restrictions of loyalty or diplomacy. Her recent remarks seem less about resentment and more about confirming the suspicions that many longtime viewers of the show have held for years. She seems ready to face difficult realities and talk openly about the inner workings of the family, especially with regard to her former sister wife. Now that she is no longer bound by the need to preserve family harmony, thank you for watching.